Hello and welcome to a vlog. I'm Kira Scrivener and I am a book reviewer and aspiring author. I don't know why I'm introducing myself like that, but I am, I guess. I am going to be having a fun adventure today. My plan is my car needs to be taken in because the weird gas gauge has not been going on for years. I thought it was originally frozen, but it is beautiful and summery now, so I know that that's not true. So because I can get a walk home, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to drive. I'm going to drop it off, hopefully have, it begin the process. There is a new Goodwill, which is my favorite bookstore because the books are $2 or $3 and they're lovely. So there's a huge one that just opened. I'm really excited to see it because it used to be a Chapters, which is our like big bookstore. And it was beautiful. It had like a Starbucks in it and like a raised area. And it was just one of my favorite places. And then it got shut down and I've been devastated. It has been 4 years, I believe, since it has not been operating, and now it is finally opened as a Goodwill, and it is a massive building, and I'm so excited. So I might buy some fun clothes, I might buy some books, which is the hope. And yeah, I'm just really excited to do this. I actually wanted to talk about a book that I recently got. So this is a book that I just graduated college and my friend gave me this, and it is a Les Miserables copy, and it is so beautiful. These are copies that I'd like seen at other people's shelves and I never like understood how beautiful they were until now. And just, it has like end papers and everything. Look at this beautiful. I don't know if we can see it because of the thing, but it's like inlaid and stuff like that, and it's so beautiful. And then my friend wrote probably the most beautiful message I've ever received, which says, "Kier, you have been the Bishop Muriel to me and to so many others. I am forever grateful for the way you embody the loving kindness of the good God. With love." And I think I will hold this ever. I love the musical and have never actually read the book. I own another fancy copy of it there a few years ago. I always wanted to read it by 25 and I never did. So this is my chance to definitely, I will not be taking this book around because it is, very beautiful and precious, but I'm just so thankful. And it's a nice small book, which is nice. I don't know if this is definitely an abridged copy versus the other one, which is a full copy. So I am very thankful to have both copies, and I know that I will treasure it for a really long time. And yeah, what I am reading today is The Swimmers, which is a really short book that I'm really loving. And I love like the kind of choral identity that is these swimmers and going back and forth. This is something that I just recently saw in Brown Girls and I really loved, and I'm really loving it here. And I just finished Demon Copperhead, which is a quite large book with a very singular point of view, and I really struggled with that idea, and this is kind of just a breath of fresh air to my lungs. And yeah, I also am reading Jawbone, and this is a horror book that was translated from the Spanish that I've been excited for a while, and I'm really excited because The Swimmers is quite short book, so I know that I'm going to finish it soon, and I'm just really excited for both of these books. I'm really excited to just walk around a Goodwill and like listen to an audiobook, and then I think it's about a half an hour, 40-minute walk back. So, God willing that I'm feeling up to it. My health has been a little bit better with the good air and with the warm. I find that like May tends to be one of the months where I often feel better, so I'm really hoping that my health will be good enough. And yeah, I'm just going to take a casual walk back through some of the beauty that is around here, and I'm just so psyched to have a beautiful day with a walk and nature and books and yeah, having my car fixed. We'll see. Okay, so the car can't be taken in for a few days, so I'm gonna go here. It does not look like it is opened yet. Yeah, I really think that it said that it was open because I double checked, but those walls do not look like it's open. So we're gonna have some fun. Probably not in there. Maybe I'll go to another thrift store. I don't know. I'm really feeling thrifting. Who knows? This whole adventure may be less adventurous at all. Another day, we will go into these beautiful doors and see what holds it. I've now started to cry because this is really beautiful. It's also interweaving, so it's something that I knew beforehand, where we begin with the swimmers and kind of this obsession and stuff like that, which can be cross-cultural. Like, I think that we sometimes forget how intensely everyone takes everything. Like, I can imagine, I've not done swimming, although I did really want to go do swimming after reading this, and then you imagine how we get into things and how much these things matter to us, and when they end, they're heartbreaking, and people can say, but it's just this. But it is something that like really matters to us. And then we have the pool shutting down and Alice, who is dealing with dementia, having her last lap. And now we go into her daughter talking about her experiences and what she doesn't remember, what she forgets. It has a similar rhythm to this where it's going, like, rather than this is what we do and this is what we do, it is this is what she remembers, this is what she doesn't remember. And it's also kind of interweaving part of Alice's story of her being a young girl when they took people of Japanese descent and rounded them up and put them in internment camps. And it also deals with like a loss of a child and all of these things. And I'm just sitting here silently crying while driving and being like, nope. Okay, so I couldn't go to the Goodwill, but my plan is to maybe grab my laptop and grab my library books. I'm definitely grabbing my library books because I was supposed to return them already. I really want to go thrift storing. Like, I know I don't actually need new books though, so I don't know. Who will see? I will let the day play itself as it's going to play. We've now changed to the idea of this nursing home, and it's like the idea of like a cohort of you, like how many people get dementia and stuff. Man, I love this book. Like, I really, really think that it's going to be a favorite. I really love the innovative way in which she tells stories and how all of these things are linked in the ways in which they kind of like have this overarching narrative, whether it's what you remember, what you forget, what they do and what they don't do, and like the swimming thing, and like one person has this, one person has that, whether it's this where it's like, oh, lots of people have dementia and these are all the different ways that it does. I am just in love with this and I cannot wait. Like, I'm really excited to read her other books. I found them both from the library. She's a short writer. Her other books are like 3 and 4 hours on audiobook. I love short books with like my whole soul. I think that they're just so miraculously well done. Her first book is about an internment camp in the 1940s and stuff like that, and this is something that's referenced here. And her other book looks at, it's like a historical fiction looking at these different women and their experiences and stuff, and I'm really excited for both of these books. And yeah, oh man, I'm so glad to hopefully have a new favorite author. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Jhumpa Lahiri, who begins in like kind of stories that are a little more serious, and then like Whereabouts that has, not that it's more serious, but it is more tied in on one particular character. And this one does have overarching characters and stuff like that, but like Alice is definitely the main character. It's just different people are talking about Alice. And I think that some people say that it's disjointed, but even in the first section, it's very like clearly going around Alice as well, and different stories. Like, it's looking at other people, but it's also looking at Alice. And I know that I have the benefit of knowing that, but I think that looking at this at different ways that we can talk about Alice as a character in her life, and I am really, really in love with books, so super excited. So I got some interesting books. I actually didn't buy any. I really considered buying like a George Eliot book that was a collected works and stuff, because I've been interested in reading her works for a while. I had a few that were like this old courtier. I had The Scarlet Letter, which is a book that I've done a review on in my interesting thoughts. I saw like a really nice Penguin edition of Age of Innocence and stuff, and I did like consider buying a lot of these. I had like a really old Margaret Atwood book that was from like the 70s that I was like, oh, I could buy this. There was like various books that I was like, maybe not. And then I believe that friendliness is like a really important thing, and it's something that I try to like do in my life and smile and laugh and, you know, talk to strangers. I got stuck for like 30 minutes listening to a conspiracy theorist who did tell me I was very intelligent for a woman, but that my father did implant his intelligence in me upon conception. It was kind of grueling. Did not take my thing. And I'm too polite to be rude, but I did like cut back. Like, he said he was also like, he really hated Catholics or anyone else and believed that like cows, beef is a vegetable because they eat grass. So yeah, it was just a bunch of me being, I don't know if that's how it works. And yes, I have in fact read that, and this is what it's saying is wrong. So that was an interesting tale, and yeah, I'm gonna go drop off my library books now, and that will be fun. This is my artistic genius here. So I just got home and I finished The Swimmers, know that there's like grass cutting in the background and stuff. You'll just have to deal with it because it's a beautiful day. And May is just my favorite. I love being outside in May. It's like that 23-degree weather with a beautiful breeze. It's hot in the car, but it's lovely outside. And I just had a lovely day. I went to the library. I, found these beautiful things. I really like art, and I'd seen Monet's paintings and stuff like that in a thing. And I was like, do I get them? Because I just like looking through them. And like, I'm no grand art person at all, but I really do like looking at them. So here we see it, and then we open it up and we just see his beautiful things, and I am just so excited. Like, I love the colors and stuff, and I don't really know anything about Monet. The one quote that I always know is from Atticus, who's a Canadian poet who's anonymous, and he says, even Monet had to grow his gardens. It is the one poem that my friend and longtime roommate Robin really likes. So it's always had like a gentleness in it because I read it to her, and she likes art and stuff, and she loved it. And yeah, I'm just really excited for this. And then this one I'm also really in love with. This is the first one I saw, the Histories of Garden Paintings, or Gardens in Paintings. And I just really love this because I love the ways in which things develop. So we have this. We have these definitely safe for YouTube pictures of like early gardens and stuff. And I think we have some from the Middle Ages. Oh, that one's gorgeous. Like, I just can't wait to look at this. And like, I'm no artist, I can't paint a stick figure, but I think that when we look at art, it helps us write better. And I think that this is a famous one as well. I feel like I recognize that one. Where are the early... Yeah, these ones look like they're more like Middle Age-ish kind of things. So that one might be the earliest and stuff. And I just really like looking at these and seeing the ways in which art has developed as it goes on. I don't know when this was published. That one's very interesting. Kind of has an old-timey feel to it as well. And then some more modern ones. Oh, this one's so pretty too. So maybe this summer I really just want to go around and like take art books and go on a walk or somewhere and just like sit outside and look at art, because that would makes me happy. And as someone who likes to imagine that I am an immature poet, I also find that art really makes me want to write poetry and enjoy it and like just revel in it. When I look at art, I want to write poetry. Some of my favorite poems are based on the works of Frida Kahlo, and just looking at her and looking at people's lives. Like, I find history really interesting for that reason as well. I finished The Swimmers, and I'm in love with the book. I got it from the library because I want to like look through it and take pictures of it and stuff, because yeah, it's definitely a 5-star book. I really enjoy the 4 sections. It first starts at the swimming pool, and then it definitely zooms in on the character of Alice first. But I think that it's I guess deceptive to imagine that the book is supposed to be about the swimmers, when I think that it is supposed to be about Alice all along, because we see Alice appear over and over again in that section more prominently than any other character. And maybe I already knew that it was going to be about her, but I do think that that's true. And then the second section is, her forgetting and her daughter kind of talking about her forgetting and all of these things. And as I was like walking through the library to try to find it, I did look up it on the computer, and it was like, yes, it's the most depressing book ever. Which I just find really funny. Depression, my thing. And then the third section looks at like Bella Vista, which is the nursing home that specifically looks at people with dementia, and it's a specifically kind of dementia that is very rare and much more progressive, I guess. And then the fourth section is back in her daughter's mind, and not with the same idea, but kind of looking at Alice's last part of life. Like, I feel like a book about dementia and an elderly woman, it's not a spoiler that, she's going to progressively get worse throughout the thing. And yeah, I really, really like this book. And the author and the daughter in this is also someone who is a writer and stuff, so I think that that might be a little bit of autofiction as well. I'm not sure if the last name is Otsuka or if there's different pronunciation there, but I need to look that up so that I can actually pronounce her name right. The Boot in the Attic is another book that I'm super excited for, and then When the Emperor Was Divine is a book that I'm really excited for. They didn't have it on the shelves, but I also just like how little and small these books are. Like, it's making me really happy. Yeah, I think this is just an utter delightful book. Am I going to read Jawbone still? I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how that's going to go. But currently I kind of just want to go and like grab my like blanket and go and sit outside. So I'm going to go get some food, definitely. I'm going to make like an avocado wrap, I think. If you can have a day off that just is wandering and unexpected, how would you like that to look like? Look at this beautiful, like, it's picturesque. So I didn't go on an adventure later on, but I am on a slight adventure now. There's light there behind it. It is evening. I have now read about a quarter of Jawbone, and I'm really liking it. It is definitely weird. It gives me some vibes of Dangers of Smoking in Bed. Like, it's quite dark and kind of twisted in some ways, and we have this woman who's like trying to be like her mother, and she's like, I want to wear everything, so she's like even putting like her mother's like undergarments on. She's like, I can't keep them up during the day, so I'm like putting them on at night, and she's just like has this obsession and stuff. Meanwhile, we have these young girls who are going through times of, you know, doing dares in this old abandoned house and factory. It's very creepy, it's very interesting. I'm wondering if we're having some lying going on, because I think that these stories have different people saying different things at different times. We always have to stop when people walk by. Yeah, so I think that I don't think that they're reliable narrators. I think that they're unreliable narrators. And I am very interested in the ways in which these people are telling stories and what it is. It's quite dark already and gross in some ways, but like, I think that if you like the idea of Dangers of Smoking in Bed, but that was too grotesque for you, that you might like this, because I felt like I liked it, but it was too grotesque, and this one I'm really, really liking. And this is by an Ecuadorian author. So I finished Jawbone last night, and man, I could not sleep after because that was horrifying. So when I said that it was like tamer than Enrique's work, I might have been bluffing. Like, it definitely doesn't get as body horror-esque. There is some body horror and like bodily fluids and stuff. I really liked aspects. I think that it looked as that like obsession, desire, violence, like so interesting, what it means to be like a girl and motherhood and all these things. Some of it like went quite far and made me like quite uncomfortable. And I think one of the biggest things with horror is, and it's often why I like classic horror, because it doesn't feel like there's often like this sinister kind of underbelly rather than like the climax, and I love that. We never get a huge explosion of anything, and then we actually don't get like a response afterwards. There's no falling action, it just kind of ends. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I did like a lot of it, but I don't know if I feel satisfied about it, and I don't know how I feel. Like, I gave it like a 3.5 because I really enjoyed a lot of it. I think that I'm really excited for what Ojeda writes next. I think like it's just going to be really marvelous. And this book came out 5 years ago. It just, you know, it's been in Ecuador and stuff. And yeah, I had such a delightful time like reading and writing and exploring and not going to Goodwill and all of those things. And I hope that you had a fun time watching me. Let me know what like an ideal random spontaneous day looks like. You know, what would that look like for you? What books are you excited to read next? Do you read horror books? Do you like the most depressing books ever like me? I don't know. I love to hear your thoughts, and I will see you next time.